Hey everyone, and welcome to day 88 of the 1000 Days of No Code Challenge. In the last video, we learned about workload units, how Bubble measures the resources that your app consumes, and how to identify parts of your app that is consuming the most workload units. In today's video, we will learn how to optimize workload units to reduce unnecessary data loading, thereby increasing the speed of the app. We will also explore what contributes to the maximum workload units and the impact of structured and unstructured data on our app performance. So let's get started. So let's try to understand how can we optimize workload units, and we will cover a solution for one of the most commonly made mistake for workload unit consumption. So couple of common reasons for workload unit consumption is backend workflow which is running every now and then, or it could also be something which is running every few seconds. For example, if you go here, you have do every 5 seconds, right? So this means every user, whoever is using the app, there is something running every 5 seconds. And if this is fetching data from server, then that is workload unit consumption. This is a very common mistake a lot of people do. So let's avoid this as much as possible. I'll delete this for now. Couple of other reasons for workload unit consumption is nested repeating group, where you're adding repeating group within repeating group, and those are connected to different data types and you're fetching all the information. Another reason could be where you're adding a repeating group and you're displaying all the records from the database, even though you do not need every record every time. Okay, and this is commonly seen in admin pages where you say admin should have access to everything, so let's load everything on page load, right? We have seen this happening in multiple projects where the client says we as admin should be able to see everything, and the developers go ahead and build it where every record is being loaded on page load. Whereas in reality, the admins are looking for a specific record so that they can operate on it. And that's why it's always advisable that you add filters, and they use filters before anything loads. And based on the filters that they apply, the records are fetched from the database and shown on the front end for the users to use. One of the common mistakes that most of the developers do, we have done it in the past as well, is combine structured data and unstructured data together in the same data type. Just to give you an example, if we go to data type and we have user project here, okay, which has title, start date, linked team. Let's say we also have end date, which is a date field, and we also add project description, which is a text field. Now let's closely understand this. We have a page called project, so let me go there, and we are displaying all the list of projects over here. So let me preview this. So maybe I've applied the privacy policy. So let me preview this on the front end with a login as this particular user. So we can see all the details here like title, start date, and the team. Keep in mind that Bubble is not just sending these details on the front end. It is also sending all the other fields associated with these records based on the privacy rules that we have applied. So if at all we have the description added in the user project, if this description is of 10 lines each for every project that we have, even though we are not displaying that on the front end, that is being thrown on the browser. That is being thrown to us. And every single character that is thrown from Bubble server to the front end is consuming workload units. So why do we even keep it in that particular data type? The solution for this is not to have it over here, rather have something called project detail, and here you can link this to the project, user project, and have your description in this particular data type. You can have all the unstructured data added over here, right? It could be additional files, it could be additional nodes, or anything that you want with regards to project, which is not being displayed on the front end, or which could probably not be used as filters, can be added over here, right? And When the user will click on a particular project, you are fetching the required information and displaying that on the front end, thereby fetching only the information that is absolutely necessary for the users to use at this particular point. And this is how you optimize your workload unit consumption. And this is one of the ways how you can optimize the workload unit consumption. And this is the most widely made mistake when it comes to data structuring, and that's why we're covering this. As we move on, not in the next few videos, but maybe later in the future, we will try and bring in few more videos on how to optimize workload units for different scenarios. And that's how you optimize your app in Bubble. While this is not the only way or the perfect route, workload optimization can vary for different apps and different requirements. But most of the time, it's because of putting together structured and unstructured data, which is always fetched on page load. By identifying the biggest workload unit consumers and using data structuring effectively, you can make your app faster and smoother for the users. This way, even at scale, your app will still be functioning most efficiently. Take some time to analyze your app workload, apply these optimizations, and see the difference for yourself. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.